Ah, greetings, B-movie aficionados.
Hello and welcome to A Couple of Flicks. I'm Tristan.
I'm Nick.
And I'm Zach.
And today we are completing, at last, because I know, it's been a long, people have been waiting patiently. We are completing our Halloween marathon. So, because there was just one movie that we didn't quite get to. So,
yep, I was moving at the time, so I was not in that episode.
Yeah, life got in the way for everything, but we always have to try to make it work though, and I feel like staying dedicated and true to our format is I don't know, it's the way to be, in my opinion. So
yeah. Part 2, Halloween. It's not January, but Halloween in January.
Yeah.
Watch BoJack
Indeed.
Horseman. It's a reference there.
I don't think I ever finished this final season.
I haven't either. I watched the first, fucking Netflix did the half thing for the last
I hate
season.
that.
So annoying. I watched the first half, but and then rewatched the first half a couple of times, but I still never finished it yet. I do love it though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I finished it. It was good.
Oh yeah.
But anyway, so yeah. So this film was one of our choices. It was
mine.
Yeah, okay, yeah, it was yours, because I think it was Cemetery of Horror, or Cemetery of Terror. So I don't even remember. It was like months ago.
I don't remember what I chose.
It was the Night of the Demons remake.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah.
Okay.
And I think somewhere in there we talked about Idle Hands as well, but
yeah, we did a one-off for Idle Hands right before that.
Yeah. So this is
coming back to me.
Yeah, so Halloween Part 3 is what this episode is. And we're finishing off with your choice, Zach.
Yeah. My choice was House of Horrors, Gates of Hell.
Yeah.
This movie gave me one of the biggest scares I've ever gotten on this show, talking about a movie.
Yeah.
It was at the very beginning of the film.
Yeah. I wrote that down too. I was like, I actually got jump scared.
The logos and all that stuff, like when they were all coming out and it said Brain Damage Films.
I didn't get that. That wasn't me, no.
Oh, that was the part that scared me, because Brain Damaged Films put out what might be the worst movie I've ever seen in my life, Hip Hop Locals, which is so terrible that I'm not even going to ever talk about it on the show again. But but they put that one out, and so I was when I saw their logo, I became extremely nervous that this was going to be like really, really bad, and thankfully it wasn't as bad as I feared it would be. So, but that logo did really it put me on the wrong track,
Okay.
Like when I saw that, I got really frustrated. I was like, oh.
Yeah, they're like I don't know if you know Wild Eye. Yeah, they're kind of on the same level. Like once you see that logo, you're like, oh shit.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. But anyway, so why did you choose this one, just out of curiosity?
So one of the characters in the movie, the Tim guy, you know what I'm talking about, like buff dude.
Yeah. Tim, he's got a what was his name? It was like
Tim Bunch.
It had a funny name. Tim Bunch. I was remembering. Yeah, he had like a memorable name. But anyway, yeah, Tim Bunch.
That's his actual name, and I know him personally.
Oh, excellent.
Oh, really? I thought maybe, because I know you do the horror, like the haunted house stuff. You like to go into those and everything, and this seemed like it was filmed by people that liked going to those and stuff.
Yeah, it's filmed by the guy who you so Tim owns that haunted house, or used to. It's closed down now.
Yeah.
But the guy who used to do his commercials did that. Did this movie.
Nice. That's awesome.
That's cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could actually kind of tell that this was sort of a it was more of a, I guess, like a collaborative effort, you know, like it felt like like the cast was almost like the crew. I kind of got those vibes.
That's what I
So,
got too, for sure.
Yeah.
yeah.
It definitely felt like it was a movie made like by like these horror house people, for sure. Because like all like everything besides the movie was like all the like the horror, like the set was nice, like they or what they showed of us of the set, like the dead bodies and all that stuff, it all looked good, but like anything
Yeah.
related to the movie wasn't like any type of visual effects that weren't just already dead bodies and set pieces and stuff.
Yeah.
Wasn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean the story it's surprisingly complicated for the type of setting it takes place in.
Yeah, because normally there's a bunch of these haunted house ones that they do, like at local haunted houses, and it's always
Yeah.
a slasher. This one kind of took a little different kind of turn, but it was still a slasher.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, do you want to talk about the scene that scared you at the beginning?
Oh, it was just a jump scare in the beginning. It was a dumbass, like right. I don't know. It started out with like I don't know, just like a maintenance dude checking out the area.
Oh yeah, the spooky tall dude is like talking to the guy who like owns the haunted house or whatever, and like he looks at like a prop, like a moving prop thing. Was that the part that scared you?
Yeah, it was just like some little girl on a rocking horse, and then it just I was it was just because I wasn't really paying attention. I was like, okay, here we go, because
Yeah.
it just started off with it looking like it was filmed in a Spirit Halloween, and then the acting wasn't great. Nothing about it looked all that up, and then they just like straight out. I was like, okay, and then it was just a jump scare, cheesy, cheap jump scare that got me off guard.
Yeah, it
Nice.
probably didn't help that the audio level sucked in this.
Yeah.
Like
The
you,
audio levels, yeah.
you could hear
Yeah.
like the hissing of the mics when they started talking in scenes.
Mhm.
Yeah, there were some questionable bits here that where like the audio spiking was kind of distracting, and I mean, although maybe I shouldn't have had my volume turned up so loud.
Like when the dude went on the roof and there was that airplane.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, they cut to the airplane. Like at first I was like, oh, did they just not want to do another take or something? But they
Yeah.
cut to the airplane, but it was still so loud and actually sounded like a plane. So I don't think it was like clipped, like or like bought sound bites from like sound, like whatever SoundCloud or audio books or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it was like a plane sound interfering with the mic.
Yeah, I was like, oh, did they just think it was cool looking? I don't know, because they did cut to him looking at it and zooming in on it, but I was like,
Yeah. Production value.
yeah, free
Yeah.
money right there, I guess. Yeah,
I
don't
guess
need to waste some money on some crappy explosion.
well, I did
Yeah.
like how like the film doesn't waste any time after the two guys are done talking. Yeah, how he's like suddenly he's like on the wall, like on a cross. Oh, and then like he spontaneously combusts.
Yeah.
Yeah, that guy in the very beginning, he just kind of flew through the air. Like
Yeah.
he, like his character was like, I don't know, in the middle of the screen, and it looked like just he was standing there and like the background was moving. I don't do editing that well. I think that's how they did it.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was hilarious.
Yeah. And then you get the fancy opening credits, and then they're like the kind of animatics, I guess you could say. Like, you know, and then all right, so yeah, so here's like the plot of the movie basically is where it's basically just a collective group of people that are organized behind like a haunted house thing, like a haunted house walk through, basically. Or And
Yeah.
yeah. And House of Horrors. So is that a real haunted house?
Yeah.
Okay,
That's what
cool.
it's, that's
Was
what
this
they're
filmed in Buffalo? It felt like it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, because like a lot of the people in this movie kind of they felt like real people, you
Yeah.
know, like which is
Not
I
actors.
actually thought that was pretty cool. I like that. I like movies where it kind of feels like just a group of people hanging out and just chatting and shooting the shit. And this movie had that sort of quality to it, except with some dialogue jokes here and there, like what was it he said to that one guy at the beginning that I laughed so hard at? It was like, oh, you know, you're not good, you're too short. And then the one lady's like, yeah, but you take really good pictures though.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then he puts that other dude in charge. He's like, no, you can't put him in charge. It's like, why? Because he's a dick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I like the dialogue. You know, it feels like real people that I've worked with. And it doesn't take too long for the kills to start. Well, I mean, obviously there's a kill at the beginning with the spontaneous combustion, but it happened to another guy. I think the guy you were talking about who went to the rooftop or whatever.
Yeah. Cage was his name.
I think so. Yeah.
He
So
was
Yeah.
a dick.
yeah, that's the guy who was the dick. Yeah. So should we talk about the characters a little bit? There's like the one lady who's like, really, and sorry, and geez, and thank you. Like, I know people that do that kind of stuff, you know.
I didn't like any of these characters.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, obviously they were all kind of annoying, but you could tell that they were all not annoyed by each other, though. So that sort of evened it
Helps.
out a bit. Yeah.
That they all hated each other because of the reasons why the audience would hate them.
Yeah, exactly. You know. So at least this movie is self-aware. Although it did kind of throw me for a loop a little bit, I must admit. When the kills, the death scenes actually started to get kind of brutal. I mean, until they started to get stupid, but
There's a
Yeah.
fine line right there.
yeah, and this film definitely breaks that line. But there is a pretty savage scene that happens early on where there's like this clown dude in a bathroom and he like stabs this one character in the groin, which is like, oh no.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know that she was weird. She was also with the one like there's also that photographer character that's
Yeah.
she like hit on him and she said my favorite line is short guys they're hung like monsters or something like
Yeah.
that. It was like a continuation of that joke. I was just like, oh Jesus.
Yeah.
She was like hitting on him and then he was like, oh, so is it true? And she's like, no. Basically said he's short and has a small dick.
I thought he was going to be the main character.
I did too, yeah.
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 We were wrong.
Yeah. Let's see. So, yeah, I mean, basically, there's like, okay, so I guess there's like, so basically, it's a bunch of people working at a haunted house, and stuff is going wrong, and of course, they're picking up on it, but not really doing a whole lot. One character talks about like this guy who wrote a book called Gates of Hell. Which also happens to be the poster of the movie. Like the cover of his book is the poster of the movie,
Yeah.
which I thought was pretty funny.
It's written by an ex-priest,
Yes,
which they keep cutting back to every so often.
yeah, and you could tell he's an ex-priest because, like, even though he wears the collar and has the dress like a priest, when he says "step into my office," he means let's go to the strip club.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. What was it? Was some funny or pun name?
Something about nuns.
Yeah.
Hell
Yeah.
Nuns.
The
Yeah.
naked nun,
Naughty nuns.
naughty nun, naked nun,
Naughty-
something like that.
The headless nun. Yeah, he has like a nun club. And so that's that's kind of a character quirk, I guess you could say. And he also gives like a lecture at one point about like the gates of hell, I guess. I mean,
Yeah, I wasn't really paying attention to
Yeah.
much what he was saying, but
Nah, it
Yeah.
was dumb
I was
shit,
paying
yeah.
more attention to the audience, you know.
yeah,
It was
the
so-
5 people in the audience
Yeah.
or the
and one of
superimposed.
yeah, and one of them goes, "Double worshiper," and he goes, "Oh, yeah, he must not have read my book." Oh.
and gets a huge laugh from the canned audio, the canned
Yeah.
soundtrack.
It was great. He says something about like all religions are true, but they get some. They're missing, kind of the key fact, and that's when he goes into the whole like talk of the underworld, and I guess that is basically what the gates of hell is the literal like House of Horrors. Hence why the title is House of Horrors Gates of Hell. It's a good twist, even though it's ruined in the title.
I'd be right on the nose.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, and not really that much else happens other than like I mean, once the whole setup and everything goes on, basically everybody just starts getting killed.
Yeah, there's that one random psychic lady
Yeah.
that didn't really do a whole lot till the end.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
thought she was going to be more important than she ended up being.
Yeah.
What were you about to say, Nick?
I said, yeah, they like had this whole meeting in the beginning too,
Mm.
like a coworker team meeting that was just awkward as hell because it was exposition and the characters weren't speaking real English or language, just
Yeah.
expositioning.
Clearly
And
reading
that's-
lines.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's when I was like, okay, so they say like she's psychic and stuff. And,
Yeah.
Stop it.
Yeah, they had to add that in there, And then there's also the whole thing about Tom or what was it, Tim Bunch?
Yeah.
He goes on television at one point, promotes
That was
the
funny.
House of Horrors.
That felt like a real like he's that actually felt like he know those lines and it's like he was actually reciting it and shit.
Yeah, he actually
Yeah.
did. He actually did stuff like that. Donated a lot to charity and went on the news and shit.
That
Nice.
makes
So I'm like,
sense because
okay.
that actually felt more natural than anything else in the
Yeah.
movies. Just that one snippet of him like promoting and stuff. That was good.
Yeah. Yeah, that was cool. And I liked how the reporter was like, "Oh, are you kidding me? I hate this haunted house bullshit," or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the maintenance guy at the beginning was like, I'm more of a Christmas guy.
Yeah.
There's always someone like that.
Yeah. Let's see. Okay, so I mean, I don't really want to talk about the grenade scene, do either of you?
The best kill in the movie?
I was gonna mention it because it was fucked up and crazy.
Yeah. It reminded me of something out of like Crank or something.
It was just I felt random. So
Completely, yeah.
I don't even know
Yeah.
who the victim was.
I think it was the other like the security guard in training. I
Yeah.
think
Oh, okay.
because we didn't
makes
see her. We saw the main the main security guard fart and die.
Yeah.
That was hilarious. But we didn't see her die. We just saw her like getting taken or something. It just like cut to black when she got attacked. So I think it was her, but it was hard to tell because in the beginning she was fully clothed, and then when it cut to that scene, she was just in her underwear, and then on the like facing down too, so you couldn't really see her face either with the duct
Yeah.
tape on her mouth. And stuff.
Yeah, it could have been anybody. It could have been the
I
director's
think-
wife.
Yeah, I think it was the security, the
Yeah.
extras, like the security guard in training hall.
Yeah, you're probably right. Yeah. And yeah, it's a rather inexplicable sort of thing that occurs.
Yeah.
All right, so basically he put the grenade in her butt and
Yeah,
it blows
after
up.
lubing it up for like a minute. Just-
Yeah.
I was confused. I was like, oh, is he like hot? Like, I thought it was like glue, maybe, like, because like he was gonna put some I don't know, slap it on her and then like don't move or something, like it would, if she moved it would explode. But no, it was lube, not glue. 'Cause
Yeah.
at
Yeah.
that
And
point,
then,
why do you even bother with the lube too if you're just gonna if she's just gonna die?
yeah, I don't know. It was very confusing and strange and happened out of nowhere and was very random. And then it blows up and she's dead. And they have the cheap looking like torso effect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty funny. Let's see. The photographer guy, he gets killed. He gets like his head blown off.
Yep. So what happens is they figure out that Tim is
Yeah.
actually a bad guy. He's there's this altar that is the actual gates of hell, and
Yeah, I didn't see that one coming.
yeah, some random altar. It's the gates of it's the key or the lock to the gate of hell, and
Yeah.
he's the guardian, and he's trying to, I don't know, complete the build on it
Yeah.
to open it.
It's like Ghostbusters. That's what it kind of reminded me of a little bit. I didn't expect it to go in that direction. I thought that they were just going to do some silly demonic stuff with the haunted house, but there ended up
The
being a
priest
little
said
more
it was
to
no
than that.
ghosts. He doesn't do ghosts. He
Yeah, that's
studies
true.
history or some shit.
Yeah. Let's see what else happens. I mean, I know that like at one point they're like looking at the guy. The reason the guy with the video camera gets killed is because he finds the tapes of him killing basically all the rest of the characters.
Yeah, he broke into Tim's house more or less to
Yeah,
investigate.
and that was probably my favorite scene in the movie, was like the montage of death, where you're seeing all these people getting killed in these kind of gnarly ways. There's like that one part where he makes the girl like put the blade up to her eye, and then like yeah.
Mm-hmm. Hammered. Yeah, it was like a nail spike. He hammered in a nail spike or whatever. Railroad
Yeah.
spike.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it all looked cheap, but still, it was like, oh, that's pretty hardcore, Yeah, I'm watching this movie and it's like, yeah, Edgelord.
Guar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they even mentioned Guar at one point.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Tim used to do security for Guar, actually.
Oh,
Excellent.
okay,
Excellent.
tie in. There
Yeah.
we go.
All right.
And the
So this movie-
Misfits.
Oh, and the Misfits. Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
That is wicked cool. So this movie's got the Guar connection. All right.
Yeah.
I'm into that. And so then like the last character, what was it, that psychic lady, or was it some other? I think
Yeah,
it
it was
was
the psychic lady.
And basically like she like it's like this whole thing where like the only way to prevent them from taking her over is if like she kills herself, basically,
I
or
didn't
something like that.
understand the end. Or
Yeah,
at all.
she just shoots herself and then the movie ends basically. Like
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
she had that weird like vision of that an old lady, I guess, but it was clearly someone in a
right,
mask.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She went exploring in the woods and found an old lady in a house. Yeah.
Yeah.
that was I
And
forgot about
that the old lady like told her like the only way to to close the lock or something is to
Yeah.
like
Oh,
someone
she
spill the
word played 'em.
blood. Yeah. It's like spill the blood of the pure or something like that.
Oh, was she a virgin? So like,
No, the priest was supposedly the pure one. She said resolve. So what it was is she said in the house, she said the only way to resolve it was to, kill the blood of a pure / person of honor or something.
okay.
So apparently the priest counted, even though he was not he was a self-admitted not really a priest for the last however many years, and
Yeah.
drank and probably did the deed with
Yeah.
those strippers. So
By that
just-
point, yeah.
just by name, he's I guess still kind of pure blood. I guess I don't. Fucking know.
Yeah.
Mm,
But
yeah.
he showed up, saved her from getting killed by Tim,
Yeah.
and then told her to shoot him.
Yeah, he was possessed, I think.
Yeah, I know that there was a few little demonic possession things that happened at the end there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there
because
was
he was gonna kill himself, and then like we throughout the movie we see like the demon's point of view of him looking at it's all covered in red, and you just like
Oh
see
yeah,
what
I
the and
forgot
like
about
so
the
it
demon
flew
POV.
into him before he like killed himself, and then like it didn't cut, and I was like, oh, he's a possessed now. Okay, he's coming back
Mm.
soon, and then a few scenes later he shows up and is like, kill me.
yeah. So that tricked her into killing him, which then opened the gates of hell.
Yeah,
some
that's the
some really awesome fire effects.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
They were
that was
just
like that was up there with Tales from the Hood as far as fire effects go.
just fucking around in Photoshop.
Yeah, loved it. Um, and then she kills herself to close the gates of hell, basically.
I think
Does
because
it?
it cuts off after that. I think.
I don't know how that would, because nothing says how would
It,
close the gates.
yeah, she had
She
some
just,
kind of revelation. It was like, oh, fuck it.
It's
yeah.
me.
I don't know why she did it, but like, I'm
Yeah,
like, okay, whatever.
I
don't
got a
blame
little
you.
confused by it.
Don't know why, but okay, all right, let's go
Yeah,
with it.
the demon vision confused me too. There were a few things that confused me, but
Yep.
but it was a good twist. I mean, I like the fact that he was like the person involved in the gates of hell, and how like the priest got involved and all that stuff. So it was, it would have been cool to see like some people go into like a haunted house and then like get slaughtered by demons or something. That would have been pretty neat. But I don't know, the
Yeah.
effects inside of the haunted house were stylish enough, I guess.
I liked the audition scenes. Those made me giggle.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Was that? And wasn't there like a part where like one of the ladies or like the demon? He says something to one of the victims. It's like, "Can you work like these hours or so?" Oh, what?
Yeah.
Can you? Yeah, he said something like that. Can
Can
you
you
work
Yeah.
work
these hours? Or something?
weekends?
Yeah, weekends.
Yeah, he
Do you
asked like, oh, it was experience. She had no experience, no transportation, and can you work weekends? No. But
Yeah.
she was a attractive female, so they said you're hired, basically.
Yeah, it was like a joke about like desperate people or something.
Yep.
Yeah, that was
And
pretty
then
funny.
later she showed up and she just randomly got tortured by I
Yeah, she
guess.
just randomly gets killed by a demon.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's the electrocution one.
Yeah, the cattle prod thing, yeah.
Yeah, he like tases her until she dies,
Yeah.
basically. So
Yeah, which caused her to bleed from the mouth somehow.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
thought I honestly thought like, okay, are they gonna just light her on fire here with those effects?
that's what I was hoping for. They did it twice. Like,
Yeah,
why
why
not?
not?
The fire effects are so good. Like,
Yeah, they're going ham on them. Why not just?
yeah. uh, I can't think of anything else I want to really say about Gates of Hell, House of Horrors. What about you guys?
No, not really.
I don't know. Were there any other interesting little things about it that stuck out, or?
One guy talked with his head chopped off.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, that was cool.
At the end, yeah, when the guy got his head chopped off, he was like, "Run!"
Yeah.
When his head was on the ground, I was like, "Dude, your head, your vocal cords are on your body still.
Yeah.
How are you saying that?"
Yeah, I like that touch. Yeah, that was funny.
It was after a very clean cut of the head too.
Yep.
Yeah.
And also, like, I saw them fucking with the effects too, because it's like when it happened, like his body kind of went transparent and shit. And
Oh,
it was
yeah.
like, oh, they didn't clean it up that well. But
Yeah. Sometimes little things like that get missed along the way, and it's like, oh. Then people see it on the big screen,
So
and you're
close to
humiliated in
perfection.
front of the world. Yeah, so close to being perfect, but just those little slip ups and those little rough patches just didn't quite get patched up enough.
Yep.
That's all I got. I don't know. Yeah.
All right. Well, I mean, I personally enjoyed it, but I mean, I'm kind of a sucker for like movies about just people hanging out and doing nothing. I mean, if I enjoy the group of characters enough, I tend to like the movie more. And I pretty much liked everything about this movie other than the actual horror elements. Yeah,
Yeah.
like like if it didn't have all the goofy, crazy stuff, um, I'd still like it. So I don't know. I'd give it a 3 personally. It's definitely on the cheap side. I don't know. I mean, probably not the type of thing where I'd be like, willing to kind of sit down and rewatch it or anything like that. Other than if I were like hanging out with a group of friends for Halloween and we needed something kind of on in the background or something to just not think about crap, And I was like, oh, I remember House of Horrors, Gates of Hell been kind of fun, It'll be probably 20 years from now. Hey, is Tubi still existing?
Who knows?
Yeah. But yeah, I'll give it a 3. I'm generous like that. This is like
Yeah.
another blood gnome type of thing.
Handing
for
them
me.
out.
Yeah.
I'd give it. I would probably get like 1.5.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I gave it.
Yeah, because it's mostly boring, but they did have good. Like that's how I like was like, okay, these guys are probably like horror house people, just because like the actual like physical props or whatever, like the physical dead bodies and all this. The sets they did show that weren't on green screen looked good.
Yeah. There were a lot
So-
of green screen shots. Yeah.
But other than that, like yeah, all the death and like all the kills are pretty cheesy and like
Yeah,
Yeah.
if it
video effects weren't great or were bad.
yeah. Yeah, like if it wasn't so boring, like in between all the cheesy stuff, I probably would have liked it more.
Yeah.
Because the
Yeah.
cheesy stuff's kind of is pretty funny.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
But yeah, it does drag when it gets boring.
Yeah.
In the beginning, definitely too. There was a lot of just shots of which looked good, but I don't know, for a movie there was lots of just shots of the house.
Yeah.
Which looked good, but I don't know. For a movie you don't want to just show just shots of a house for like 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It could I could see how like a lot of people would get really bored of how mundane like it gets at times, like especially if you don't like the characters, like because mostly all they do is kind of bicker with each other, and like even when they're like supposed to be fighting demons or whatever, they're still bickering, like so all right.
Shit.
Yeah. All right, so both of you guys would probably give it about a 1 to a 1.5.
Yeah.
Yeah. 1.5
All right,
on
all right.
my rating.
All right, cool. Well, for me, House of Horrors: Gates of Hell was a pleasant enough surprise. Pleasant enough little Tubi surprise. I love it when stuff like that happens. So.
Did your expectations just drop so low seeing that logo that you
I think
ended up enjoying it?
I think that might have been it. It's possible, yeah. But also, actually, like the fire effects in this movie, what it kind of reminded me of a little bit was that movie we watched, The Dark, with that demon like zapping people. Like I don't know if you guys
yeah.
probably don't remember it. Yeah, it was like a weird like late 70s movie. There's like this demon going around zapping people, and people are like, "Whoa!" It kind of reminded me of that a little bit. Like,
Yeah.
but yeah, I don't know. I guess Brain Damaged. This one's a winner for me, at least.
Still have a few of their DVDs I gotta get through. I don't know. We'll probably pick them for the show eventually or something.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
I don't know.
if I had any Brain Damaged DVDs, they might be like collecting dust in my basement. All right. Well, I guess that's about it then. That concludes our House of Horrors episode and our final word on the Halloween. So how do you guys feel now that that's done?
When's the next Halloween episode?
Right?
Oh, ooh, yeah.
Yeah.
Might be. We might have to do it a little earlier. You know?
Right?
We should do Christmas in July since we missed Christmas.
I
Oh,
agree.
yeah.
I
That's
agree.
good. Let's do it.
All
Put it in the books.
Yeah, Christmas in July. That sounds perfect. I'm down for that. um, yeah, and you know, I also actually one Halloween related movie I've been meaning to check out is that 1986 movie Trick or Treat with Ozzy Osbourne.
Oh yeah, I want to see that one too.
Yeah,
I've
always been,
always been curious.
yeah.
Is it Gene Simmons in it too?
I think so. Yeah, I mean it's probably garbage, but it just sounds like something that could be so interesting. You know?
Yeah.
I think I've almost chosen it a couple times for a Halloween episode.
Yeah, I've almost chosen it a couple times too. So
Well, we could do a halfway to Halloween.
In
I'd be down for that.
May?
Yeah.
Or oh, I don't know when.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Let's just celebrate Halloween every month.
Yeah.
It's just like crazy horror movies. But yeah, no, I'd be anything like that. Christmas in July, Halloween in April, anything. I'm up for anything. So.
All right.
So. I'll even do an April Fool's episode where we don't watch anything.
Got him.
All right. Well, until next time, I think that's it. Yeah. So happy Halloween.
Yeah.
Have a good one.
See ya.